The world in games where animals are humanoid is always fascinating and sets the boundaries free for creativity. Backbone is one of those games. This is my first game review and I don't know how to properly do it, but I will try to make it as brief or as confusing as possible. By watching this review, I hope you will get answer about should you buy this game or not, or just get entertained by a new game that you never hear. There will be a spoiler in the middle of the review when I'm talking about the story aspect of it, but the early part of the review will be spoiler free. Backbone is a game where you playing as a raccoon detective in a post-noir dystopian world. In this world, animals, especially mammals, are humanoid with their social class, etc. Bear and apes are considered as the high levels of the society. Dogs are pretty smart, and most of them stellar in science, and the rest of herbivore animals like raccoon, rats, bunnies are considered as low class or maybe commoners. Wait, is rat considered as herbivore? I know, I used to sleep in science class back then. Anyways, if someone asked me to explain to people who want to know about Backbone as simply as possible, I would say that Backbone is a casual disco elysium with cool animals, music and a beautiful world. In my case, saying it's a casual disco elysium is a compliment, because for me, disco elysium is too hard for a person who isn't used to read a lot of text and not a native English speaker, with fancy words and topic about politics, society, all that hard stuff for mere mortal like me. While Backbone also has similar topics, but it's much easier for me to understand and enjoy the game as an entertainment piece rather than art or literature. There is still a lot of text to read because Backbone is a text-heavy game, but damn, I'm impressed how they're able to hold my attention for not realizing that I played the game for 5 hours straight. For a person with a short attention span like me, who also not used to read books or a lot of text, that's really amazing. In every part of the story act, you will need to solve a problem or looking for a clue. For example, in the prologue act, you have to figure a way to obtain the information needed and how to get into a certain place. There is plenty of ways for you to do this, based on how you want to do it or what's the outcome of what you do. For example, if you fail to smooth talk to people, they will either get pissed at you or see you as a suspicious person and lock the possibility for you to achieve your goals easily. Basically, you can approach as a social butterfly or go deep into the Sherlock Holmes kind of detective thingy. I remember the first time I played the free prologue a long time ago, my English skill wasn't as developed as now, and I failed to obtain the information from people. So I need to go full Sherlock Holmes, cracking codes and passwords, some kind of that stuff, which is a lot harder and frustrating for me. But in my full game playthrough, I'm able to do it easily by talking to people and taking a mental note for every bit of important information. So there is plenty of ways to play the game. Now we are gonna talk about the other aspect of the game, and I will give a score in number based on my own satisfaction, from gameplay, graphic or visual, story, and overall score at the end of the video. I already talked about the gameplay a lot so far, and I give 8 as the score for the gameplay aspect. There is a puzzle that really frustrating and seems impossible for me and almost break the gameplay enjoyment for me, and I decided to look for the answer anyway on the internet. But for holding my attention 5 hours straight, it's really impressive and I'm enjoying the most part of it. The next aspect is the graphics. I give the graphics or the visual 8.5. I know that graphics or art style enjoyment is based on personal preferences. Like I know a person who loves farming sim games but never play and straight hating Stardew Valley just because of the pixel art style. But for me, I really love pixel art. Backbone is also successfully made a beautiful combination of pixel art style and realism, from the rain, the reflection of neon lights, the rain puddle, the water. It's beautiful and often breathtaking. Makes me remember of a similar upcoming game called The Last Night, which still not released since 4 years ago, sorry. Now let's talk about the story. This part will contain spoilers, so you can skip to this timestamp if you don't want to know about the spoilers. I will wait. You done? Are you done yet? Okay, let's talk about it. I give the story a 7. Yes, I know. for a heavy text game that focus on the story, 7 is not that amazing, and I'm also not enjoying it as much as the other aspects of the game. The story of Backbone isn't really impressive for me. The idea is really interesting, but maybe it's because of the execution or the direction of the game story isn't really well made. They did the prologue part perfectly, that we found our client butchered and other animals were chopped down into pieces and sold in boxes by a shady private clubbing bar. This twist easily captured my attention and curiosity to play the game more, but as the story goes, it feels all over the place for me. They actually kill animals and eat their meats, which is fucked up and also interesting. But turns out there is another twist about the wall. It went from like Rumadara to a freaking Attack on Titan or the Horizon manhwa type of thing. But wait, there is another big twist. That the scientist is making some fuck up experiment and found a new living species that we somehow touch for I don't know what's the reason, and we became a Venom from fucking Spider-Man. Then suddenly you are living a homeless life and ends with leaving the world to some kind of post-apocalypse world with an open interpretation kind of style. Maybe the real apes are human because there's a human skeleton in the lab and the apocalypse made the animals become a mutant humanoid. Who knows? I think the idea of the twist is okay, but the execution didn't hit me at all and breaking the immersion for me, at least the immersion that built up from the start. It feels like 3 grand ideas of story messed up to one, and all of it feel disjointed in the end. It's just a shame that the execution went poorly for me, but I still enjoy the early part of the story, and I also forgiving to the game because I can clearly see what the team behind this game trying to make. Ambitious, let's try. Not a bad first game. That being said, my overall enjoyment score for Backbone is 7.8. It's a good game, enjoyable, but could be a lot better in my opinion. There is a potential in it, and yeah, I can see that people can give the score higher than mine if they enjoy the story more. Should you buy this game? Should you buy Backbone? Yes, I think so. I recommend this game. It's short, it looks beautiful, got a nice music or soundtrack, and kind of thought-provoking. And I cannot wait for what the developer, Ignat, what's that name, man, will make in the future. If you like this game, I recommend looking for an upcoming game by the same publisher of Backbone, Raw Fury, called The Last Night, which I mentioned earlier in this video. So yeah, that's my review for Backbone. Thanks for watching the video until the end. What's your opinion about the game? Or maybe in the video that you watch now? You can write it down in the comment section of this video. Please like this video if you find it helpful or enjoyable, and I will see you in the next video.